It's bourbonblog.com live. I'm live with Master Taster of Old Forester, Jackie Zykan. We're going to be chasing some amazing single barrels with you tonight. What's happening there in Louisville, Jackie?
Nothing. A lot of rain in Louisville today, but it rains when you need it, I guess. So we got plenty of whiskey to get through it.
And sometimes when it rains in Kentucky, you can smell the bourbon in the air, right?
A little bit, but I never know if it's just me.
That's what I'm wondering too. Is it me or is it actually the bourbon from the warehouses? So it's been a while since I've seen you. Of course, about this time last year, we were doing a little early preview of Old Forester Birthday Bourbon, and we will be doing one with you on camera here in the next month or so before it comes out. But just so everybody knows, Birthday Bourbon is coming in September. And what's this year's Birthday Bourbon look like?
Well, so every year is completely different. So Chris Morris and I decide on that final batch and that proof in January. We dumped that lot this year about halfway through June, and so that we could get it into bottles and make sure we deliver on time. So Birthday Bourbon, of course, is to celebrate George Garvin Brown's birthday, which is September 2nd. So we always try to make sure we hit that deadline to share it with the world. It's a good year, though. It's a good year. I got to say that. It's we'll get into nitty gritties with it when we talk about it further, but it's a tropical fruit bomb, which is the perfect escapism for everything going on right now. So I think it's going to be a great year for birthday.
Tropical. So we're going to be tasting some of the tropical fruit flavors that we sometimes get on Old Forester. This one being about, how old is this one?
This one is a 10-year-old lot. Yes,
right.
It's split between a couple of warehouses, but it's 10 years old, and it's I'll wait till you taste it. I'm not going to give away all the secrets.
You just don't want to give away all the secrets. Now, I really enjoyed last year's and the year before were about the same age. I think it was the 18 that was a little bit older, right?
Yes. So last year's was an 11-year-old expression and the 18 was a 12. Now, don't think that this is some sort of trend that every year birthday bourbon is going to get younger. It's just that these lots have shown to be spectacular and they've yielded quite a bit, and we're just happy with them.
Well, but every year I say bourbon's making me younger. So that, as long as it's still tasting good, right?
Exactly.
So we'll be talking with you more about that here in the next month or so. We have a story up on Bourbon Blog talking about the birthday bourbon, and we always, of course, look forward to it. Gets tougher and tougher to find, it seems like. Is that still the case? I know last year you from what I recall, you released a few more than you had the year prior.
And it just depends on what's left in those barrels. And then it really does come down to the proof point. So that definitely impacts the yields. Regardless, there's never enough. It's one of those things, birthday bourbon, after sitting in heat cycled warehousing for 9 to 14 years, that's been our age range, loses the majority of its juice. You're getting about 15% yield out of those barrels. So, and then everybody wants it high proof. I always fight for the lower proof. I'm always fighting for the lower proof. We'll have more. But
not a whole lot left. So we don't know exactly how this year's, as far as number of bottles being released, probably compares to the last couple. But hopefully at some point we'll know that, right?
I want to say it's just a hair above what last year's yielded.
Just a hair above.
That doesn't mean you'll see any more in your markets, though, because we're growing and expanding everywhere. Yeah. So it's a wash.
Well, we're gonna give them a little bit of hope. I mean, that's the thing. So we're going to taste some of your amazing single barrels. This is such an exciting new program you have, fairly new program at Old Forester, and you've picked some amazing single barrels there, Jackie, here in a few minutes. But overall, what have you been up to? The last several months. I know it's been a while since I've seen you. What's been happening there at Old Forester?
Well, we're just kind of trying to navigate the landscape that's going on right now, just like anybody else is. We're all working from home. I'm in and out of the warehouses still as need be, and I pop in and out of the distillery from time to time, but not as much as I used to. We're trying to really keep that space really, really siphoned off and protect our production folks that are working the bottling line every day, because that would be where, all pun intended, that's the bottleneck of the entire operation. So
right.
Everything, as you know, like we're all living in your world now, right? Everything's digital and everything is in a screen. So we're just adjusting to all of that. And I know there's no separation, right? Like there's work, home, child, school, everything is all happening in the same space, and we're all just doing our best at this point. So
Absolutely. And of course, Old Forester being a bourbon that people enjoy everywhere, that has always meant so much to bartenders in Louisville, Kentucky, restaurants. Um, what's the vibe there? I know that there's been openings, there's been closings. Hopefully, you've been able to talk to some of these bartenders. What's the general sense you're getting?
well, I mean, I know that there's a lot of frustration from some, and there's a lot of support from others. I think Louisville, as a culinary scene in general, is very close knit and very supportive of each other.
Yes.
And so, from what I've seen, and then again, it's just what I see on my social media perspective, they understand, and everyone just wants the best for everybody right now in Louisville.
Yeah.
And yeah, our bars have been shut down now. If you don't serve food, you've been shut down again for a couple of weeks. But
Right.
there's still a lot of concepts that have food that I encourage people to go out, put on your mask, and go support them.
Right, and cocktails to go. We hope that's something that will stick around. I'm sure a lot of cocktails to go being made with Old Forester. It's so great by itself, but it also makes such an incredible cocktail. And again, everywhere, of course, even outside of Kentucky. But again, so many bartenders and mixologists enjoy using it in Louisville and the region. So we really raise a toast to you and Old Forester for all you all do for the industry. And something special that you've done here lately are these single barrel picks. Now tell us about these Old Forester single barrels.
Yes. So Old Forester actually started doing these personal selection single barrels back in 2013. So it's been going on for a long time, but the program was always a 90 proof expression. Now, once I joined the brand about 5 years ago, one of my main missions was sort of overseeing and growing the single barrel program. How can we maximize it? And something we just kept getting feedback about was, this is great, but why can't we get it at barrel strength? I want it at barrel strength. Everybody wants that way. And some cases you taste it out of the barrel and you're like, oh, it's perfect as is. So there was some pressure to do that. And also just from tasting lot after lot after lot and a lot of finished products, I just wanted to make sure that every single bottle of Old Forester that hits the shelf is giving its best foot forward. If you've never had Old Forester at all and you go to a store and pick up someone's single barrel that they picked out and it's not the best expression of Old Forester could possibly be, then we've failed. So we went ahead and raised the baseline proof to 100. So that's an option for you, or you can get it unfiltered straight out of the barrel.
So you can do either. You can do it straight from the barrel, which usually equals about 130 to 135 or so.
Yep. We're capping it at 139. Any higher, we're getting into hazmat zone. And so we don't want to go up to that. So, but for the age range that our single barrel program sits in, that's a typical yield proof for sure. That range.
Wow. So the highest one you've seen is about 139 then.
I've seen higher, but for those, we put those into the pool of barrels that you can only get at 100 proof so that we don't bottle them at barrel strength.
Right. Absolutely. And again, if you're just joining us, Jackie Zykan, Old Forester Master Taster. Ask any questions you have for Jackie about the Old Forester line down below, or tweet back to us. A lot of Old Forester fans watching. And definitely, if you support bourbon and Old Forester, like this, share this, let everyone know, bring everybody to this bourbon party we're having here. Last time I saw you, well, maybe not the last time, but last year, you were wearing like a party hat. Remember that?
Yes, I was. I mean, the birthday bourbon celebrations are the best. Like, what better concept to release a whiskey, Like, there's always cake, there's hats, there's confetti, there's balloons. And here this year, we're just going to have to, have birthday parties at home, and that's okay.
That's okay. You had some birthday cake there for us. We got into the spirit with our birthday hats on. It was a good time. And I bet you, you all always do a lot with Kentucky Derby. What was that like for you this year? Not having, you did birthday, we did it from home, of course, but.
Right. So it's been interesting. It's something very, it's heartbreaking, to be honest with you. It's such an ingrained tradition. And for us, we are so heavily involved in it that it just feels like Groundhog Day anyways, as is with everything going on. Right. But right now it's like, I'm seeing all this stuff about Derby in September, and like, I was at the grocery store the other day and they've got like derby hats and stuff. And I'm like, this is wrong. It's so hot outside. This feels wrong. Everything feels wrong. But we did it Old Forester style this year. So in lieu of the derby, we had the Kentucky Turtle Derby, which
that was fun.
It was great.
That was a really good time.
Yeah. So, just like everyone else, like you just have to get creative and have fun with it. That's the least you can do.
Absolutely. And you guys are doing such a great job of that. Well, let's try is it the 100 proof single barrel, which again was, you had it since 2013. And then you said the last couple of years you've gone up on the proof. Is that correct?
Nope. This is the first time we've ever changed.
This is the first time. Yep. This is the first year ever. Okay.
Yes. We got rid of the 90
proof and barrel proof.
Yes. So there is a difference in the lots of the barrels that go into options for 100 proof or barrel strength. So the way that we keep them separate is based on the volume that the barrel gives us. So the lower yielding barrels are bottled at 100 proof and the higher yielding barrels are bottled at barrel strength. The reason for that being we need a minimum volume in our processing tanks. And if we can't reach that, we can't process it as barrel strength. So, it's interesting. But so you're kind of getting the more concentrated flavor in the 100 proof anyways. But they're both fantastic. And with two completely different worlds of barrels going into the two, I definitely encourage everyone to try both of them. I'm not sure which one you have. They're like snowflakes. They're like
snowflakes. And again, some of these snowflakes you picked out, these are actually available at the distillery. People can go get them.
That's right. Yes. So our distillery down on Main Street on Whiskey Row is not open to the public right now because we are a full-fledged production site and we're trying to protect our employees. But we do curbside retail. And so if you're interested in getting your hands on one of these 100 proof or barrel strength single barrels, make sure you check out the Old Forester website. You can add in to get on our email database. That's where we're going to send notifications on when the stuff is coming out. And it flies. It sells out in the first couple of hours we put it out there. So just keep an eye on it. But I know they've got their first 100 proof one coming out if it hasn't been out already, because I did tasting notes for it yesterday. So it might be next week. And it's, of course, named the first hundo. So you'll know that'll be the first one that we're.
So they actually have names.
I named them, yes.
So this first one is called what again?
The first hundo is the first 100 proof. I didn't know what else to name it.
The first
hundo.
The
other ones, like the barrel strength I'll be tasting with you is corner piece of cake because it just tastes like straight up icing. Yeah, they all have weird. I don't know.
I like the first hundo. That's good. Well, so I may even have some of the first hundo. It's possible. Maybe this is
no.
I don't know.
No, I that all went
it's similar
for the retail shop.
All right. So again, the first hundo just in the retail shop. These are about how old are these, Jackie, approximately?
The single barrels for the Old Forester program range anywhere from 4.5 to 5.5 years. Every now and then a 6-year-old slips through. But yeah. It's different though. I know some people hear that and like, well, that's really young. You will not drink like that. We do heat cycled warehousing, so you can add on 6 months of maturation for every year you actually spend in there.
This is really beautiful. Again, the same recipe that we would get in the original Old Forester.
Same mash bill.
But a single barrel, and then would it be is it slightly older?
Then the 86 proof you have right there, that one we pluck right on its 4th birthday. So it is shyly over a little bit, but
might be a half a year to a year and a half older. So slightly older, just some special picks that you've gone through. What do you do when you go through the warehouse and you're like, which is the best? How do you decide which is best? What are you looking for?
I take an entire lot that's ready to go and fully mature. I go through, I look at the barrels, I number the barrels, I pull the juice from the barrels, I bring it off site. I don't taste in the warehouse. It's too much confusion.
Too many elements, right?
Yes. And I water them back to check for defects. I'm not on a mission to find every barrel that I think is good. I am on a mission to make sure they're all free of any defects or anything we don't want people to experience with it. The goal is to keep a very diverse pool because you might like something really spicy and I like something really sweet. So we try to keep a lot of variance in the flavor profiles.
So And that's the fun part about the single barrels is the variance that you get. So all over the board, the main things that was you're looking for this. Obviously, you're not trying to find one particular thing, sweet, spicy, but are there kind of some notes that you're looking for that that stand out when you go through, say, 10 or 20 of these, and you say, this is kind of the profile, but I'm getting more of this?
The profile is, as long as it's quality. Honestly, the weirder, the better in this case, right?
Just to give some people something different, right?
Exactly.
This is beautiful. This one actually that I have, it has a lot of vanilla, but a really nice backing of that barrel. I mean, the vanilla is just like really delicate and really nice caramelization of sugar. This is beautiful. And though I can tell it has some of the DNA that Old Forester has, it is vastly different. It is really different.
I love it. It's like deconstructing Old Forester's flavor profile into separate little pieces. It's awesome. Some of the notes you find in these single barrels are so weird and bizarre. They pass by you when you go to taste the core products, but like Twizzler, like grape bubblegum comes up quite a bit. And melon comes up a lot. I think we're releasing one next week that I named Melon Dramatic because it is just straight up cantaloupe. It's crazy.
Wow. Melon Dramatic is going to be that. That's great. It is so much fun to see what single barrels do. Again, they've been out there for several years for restaurants, bars, liquor stores, but you all are really doing something special now through the gift shop. And also, for those that are watching that have an account that would be a liquor store, on premise, off premise, they can pick one out. You can ship them samples, right?
That's right. And right now, that's all we're able to do is ship sample sets because we can't have anyone on site to drill into the barrels. But this is an allocated product still. So if anyone out there is a license holder and you're interested in getting your own barrel, please reach out to whoever your distributor rep is that carries Old Forester stuff and get on the list. We've got a couple wait lists here and there. People are interested, but we're doing our best to get through it. So, but yeah.
Just to read, so I think someone asked down in the comments below, and I understand what you do, but what do you do as master taster?
Every day is a little bit different. So the single barrel program obviously is a massive part of my role.
Right.
The quality control panels, you would be amazed how many different checkpoints of quality Brown-Forman products go through before they actually hit a shelf and are available to you. And so with us, there's a check at distillation, there's a check at maturity. Our maturity for us is legal maturity, not necessarily bottling maturity. There's the blendings, making sure everything is consistent because that's what we've promised since 1870. I'm still doing tastings and trainings. They just all have to be in digital format now, and still doing drink strategy for the brand as well. Still doing licensed product overseeing for the brand. Now I've got a whole amazing team of soldiers that are part of the Ford's Gin team that'll start representing Old Forester as well. So we're really excited to have those guys and girls on board. And yeah, I don't know. No day is the same. All over the place. It's not just single barrel. It's new product development. It's President's Choice. That falls on me too. So yeah, fun.
The President's Choice?
Do what?
The choice. Tell us about that.
The President's Choice is an item that is available through the Old Forester retail shop and select places in Kentucky here and there. Right. It was our first sort of distillery only offering, if you will. And it is narrowed down by me. I hand samples off to Campbell as our president of Old Forester, and he makes the final selections on what goes into the bottle. This is a revival of a vintage expression that we ceased in 1972 and brought it back with the opening of the distillery.
So this is a whole different recipe then.
It's different barrels being selected. It is bottled as single barrels, and they're anywhere between 110 to 120 proof, give or take. And they're about 8 years old, and yes, beautiful. Hard to come by, but
and those can be those also available for pickup at your distillery downtown.
Yes, they will be. So if they release one and you're on that mailing list, you will probably be first to know when it's coming out. So just hint, 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 nudge, nudge, nudge.
You got to be on that mailing list, and I would presume that's on your website. Is that how you sign up, or how do you sign up?
Yep, come to the Old Forester website. Stay for a while, take a look around. You'll see it.
After you watch this video, of course, I'll put up the links. Everybody will have it. This is so good. I mean, we think about tasting Old Forester at all the different expressions and strengths, and how much we do. As we talked about in the beginning, love birthday bourbon and the special elements it shows. But I mean, just beginning to taste this single barrel at 100 proof, this really shows some really unique barrel and some elements that I typically haven't gotten on other Old Foresters. And this is something that is not, if you can be close to it, won't be as difficult to find as birthday bourbon, right?
Oh, 100%.
Right.
As I said, it's still allocated, but we are doing about 40 to 50 barrels a month. So there's definitely more of it out there circulating in the world, and it's more widespread. And we're starting to do them in the UK and Australia this year as well. So we're covering some ground with the program for sure.
Very nice. Very nice. This is beautiful. This is just, there's a lot of flavor on this. This one really has a lot of creamy vanillas, a lot of barrel, like I mentioned, slightly honeyed, some of that DNA of the original Old Forester underneath, but just really at 100 proof especially, the proof hasn't gone too high, but it's still there, and it's really nice and warming. Now this next one at barrel strength is just right around 130 something proof that I have. You have a barrel strength one there as well?
I do. This one, look, you can see it never got written on down here. So I don't know what proof it is.
It's a mystery. So the first selection there at the downtown Louisville distillery is called the first hundo, right? First hundo?
The first bottling of the 100 proof, yes.
First hundo.
I do believe they released the barrel strength last week. It sold out immediately, but they did bottle those first. Okay. They still have more coming. They're probably going to release them throughout the rest of summer all the way through. So
you're going to be doing several expressions a month, probably, of each.
Oh yes, definitely.
Okay. So if you're there in Louisville, and that's the only way you can really pick it up, you can't ship it or anything, right? It's right there.
We can ship to certain places, but you definitely want to check the website to verify.
I'm going to put the website up right now so people can see it, and we'll definitely put something up on Bourbon blog after this so everybody can check out. But certainly recommend this because I love single barrels. There it is, Old Forester. Well, just go to oldforester.com, but there is a single barrel / there that you can find that, so you can learn about all these. And as Jackie said, stay a while, and wherever you're watching us, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, make sure you like this, share this, and subscribe. That way, as we're doing these Bourbon Blog Lives, you can watch more of them also. Bookmark Bourbon Blog Live. We've been doing this nearly every night with great people like Jackie since March. We've been doing it almost every night, Jackie. It's been a lot of fun. We even did a Derby Day special. We went for 6 hours, and we had Old Forester with some celebrities and some great people. So we had a lot of fun that day too.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we've been sipping some Old Forester the last 4 months.
Thank you.
With you. So all right, so we're gonna try the single barrel strength again. Any questions for Jackie? Ask below. Someone said that they have gotten some barrel strength already, so that's great, Joe. Thanks for watching us. All right, so barrel strength.
Yes. Well, I got to be careful how I phrase this. We don't filter this one. The 100 proof does get a carbon treatment on it. No Old Forester is chill filtered. It's not something we do. But the 100 proof does get a 12-hour carbon sit. So the barrel strength, though, the goal for this was to have it be as pure and raw as possible, just like you're gumming and picking out your barrel and drilling right into that barrel head and getting the liquid for yourself. So, yeah, there's a lot going on in that bottle.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so we basically put it through a fine mesh sieve to get the char chunks out because that's going to happen. But other than that, it goes straight to bottling. With that heads up, if anyone out there gets their hands on a bottle of this and you notice a little bit of precipitate or what we call flocculation that happens in there, some little specks, give it a shake, mix it up. It's not going to hurt you. If the bottle is already open and you have that, I can't stand behind what's going on. But I can say if it's sealed, it's totally fine. But that is just something that's going to happen when you've got so much left in the liquid. So,
right. This is really bold. I mean, this is such a I mean, going from 100 to, and I love barrel proof as well, but this is really bold. This has a lot going on. I'm getting a lot of chocolate on this nose. This is really lovely. What are you tasting on yours? And what are you
Mine, so I'm tasting the Master Taster Selection Corner Piece of Cake. So it is straight up powdered sugar, like crunchy icing on like not to make it sound negative, but like on a stale cake. You know what I mean? Like that's been left out and the ice cream gets all hard. You can like tap it with your finger. That's what it reminded me of. So that's what I named it. And there it is for you. If you like chocolate, I know they're releasing one next week that I named Chocolate Squirrel. It's super chocolatey, super nutty, hence the name, but it's
Chocolate Squirrel.
Chocolate Squirrel.
Might even be a way to attract a few of those squirrels to your yard, right?
For it.
This is good. This is really, this has some nice, I mean, this, and as you were saying, again, same age, around 4.5 to 5.5, but just like the 100 proof, does drink at a really older age. I mean, these are getting to be some of those notes that I recall from all the different birthday bourbons I've tried. Some of those similar notes that have really just stood out in those special older releases. So you've done a great job picking these out.
Thank you. I've been hiding them for a while. Not to say
where did you hide them? You're like a squirrel hiding the nuts. Where'd you hide your barrels?
No, so I maintain the inventory spreadsheet for the private selection. So when I taste through these barrels, every now and then I stop, and I do it. I know I do it every time. I know what my face looks like. I stop and look around like as if someone else would know what I was thinking in that moment of like, don't tell anybody. This one's really, really good. And I make a note in the spreadsheet, do not sell, and I just hide them. I just
you have a secret diary of do not sell this, and it's in your back pocket. But just maybe for that, what did you call it? Was the chocolate squirrel?
Chocolate Squirrel was one of them. I hid that one too.
Maybe we should, next week as you're launching that one, we'll see you dressed up like a squirrel in a squirrel outfit and just hiding that barrel behind the distillery, right? We'll see what PR thinks of that, but it's such an idea. You picked out some amazing stuff. You really have, and these are both just really, really delicious. And what do you hope that people can taste? I mean, obviously you want people to enjoy all the Old Forester expressions, but with single barrel especially, what do you hope people will go away learning about Old Forester tasting these?
Well, I mean, there's a couple of things there, right? So if you're already an established Old Forester fanatic and you're familiar with that baseline, sweet on the front end, spicy on the back, fruit forward Olfo, I want you to go out and try as many different single barrels as possible because it's going to give you, this sort of deconstructed flavor profile of what we put together for all of our blends. I hope that people don't see barrel strength and think like, oh, that's too strong. The intention was to give you the choice of where you want to proof it down to. It wasn't necessarily you have to drink it at that point. So I want everyone to feel comfortable to add water, add ice, make an old fashioned with it. I don't care. I don't judge. As long as it's Old Forester, you do whatever you want. But make friends with your local retailers. That's always my biggest advice too, especially if you're trying to get like hard to find stuff. You got to make friends with your local retailers because you'll learn a little bit after time goes by that a lot of their single barrel selections are very representative of their palates a lot of the times. And then you just find somebody that you mesh with and then you can explore all kinds of other brand single barrels. I think it's great. It's great to see the snowflake aspect of it. They're very unique.
It is. And I think the more that I've been doing this on Bourbon Blog the last decade and a half or so, seeing people getting excited about having all types of whiskey at different proofs, the snowflake barrels. It's great to see Old Forester doing this, and it'll be exciting to come to when we get back to Louisville and see what you have in the gift shop each time. Again, go to that website so that you can learn about the single barrel program. You can. How does that work? Do people purchase it ahead of time on the website and come by and pick it up, or how does that happen?
For the expressions we sell through the retail shop?
Yeah, if they want to get one to go or whatever, as you guys are doing this.
Yes. You definitely do the business online and they will bring it out to you to the curb right on Main Street. There's a little inlet you can pull into. It's all packaged very, very nicely. They do such a phenomenal job. It is ready to go. So even if you have a bourbon lover, if you're not a bourbon lover, I don't know why you're watching this if you're not a bourbon lover anyways, but maybe you're new. I don't know. But if you've got someone that could just use a little brightening of their day, everything is perfectly gift wrapped for you already out of that retail shop. So you just pick it up, drop it on their doorstep if they're 21 or up, and go about it. So share the love, share the Old Fo love.
And I, you know what else I love at your gift shop are those, and I want to say it the right way. Is it called Majeska? Those little candies?
Yes, the Majeska.
Those are so good, aren't they?
I think you can buy those online. I think you can package those in there too.
Yeah, those are such an amazing Louisville treat with just a little touch of bourbon in them, right?
Yes. So Art Eatables actually makes this for us. We have a couple different varieties, but there's Old Forester in them for sure. Yeah,
the Art Eatables, they do a great job there in Louisville too, and those are delicious. So again, how much are these a bottle? The 100 proof and the barrel strength.
The 100 proof is around 50 is the suggested retail on it. The barrel strength is 70 to 80, somewhere in that range. But it'll last you. It'll definitely last you a while. So
it'll last you a while, and you can share it with friends. And someone's just commenting they're trying the 1920 Prohibition right now. Of course, we enjoy the Whiskey Row series a lot as well. So many good expressions from Old Forester. Jackie, these are delicious. It'll be fun to try some of the ones you all have coming out. And again, at least one expression is in the gift shop now, probably more next week.
Well, I think they're sold out for the week. It's the end of the week, but the beginning of next week, you'll start to see them released. So they may be claimed, though. You got to buy them online, right? And then get the curbside pickup.
You got to watch online towards the beginning of the week.
Yep.
You've been seeing them just sell through one whole expression in a week, huh?
Yeah, I mean, we list these and they immediately go. So that barrel strength will give you about 160 bottles out of that barrel, since it is just straight from it. Right. So, yeah, it's not anything to laugh at. You know what I mean? It's 160 bottles of bourbon, but still, it goes pretty quick. And
then the I guess the 100 proof, you'd get what, a couple hundred bottles, a little over 200.
Yeah, about 200 give or take. Mm-hmm.
These are very special, all kind of rare in their own way. So if there's a favorite one, or if one seems to be captivating, you get it, and you know you have a piece of history that Jackie's been hiding away for a while. It's exciting to try these with you, Jackie. And this year we are celebrating 150 years of Old Forester.
Yes, we are. So not a day has gone by in the 150 years since the brand started that you could not buy a bottle, even during Prohibition. So it's a really, really big accomplishment for a brand that's ebbed and flowed through history. You know, it's survived everything. And here we are. It's not necessarily the way that we thought this year would go, but here we are. So we will have some special stuff coming up later on this year, still within 2020. So keep your eyes peeled on that. And again, sign up for those emails and you'll know all about it. Just saying.
Sign up for those emails, indeed. And then the special celebrations to celebrate 150 years, anything you can tease forward to there? Anything that we might want to be watching for?
We are still sort of finalizing our plans, since everything changes so day by day now. We've got a couple things we're toying around with, but after Birthday Bourbon is launched, then we'll really start fine-tuning in and focusing on our 150th celebration that way. So follow us on social media. A lot of it will probably be through live streams and things of that sort.
Yeah. And again, as always, Birthday Bourbon released in September on George Garvin Brown's birthday.
September 2nd. Yes.
September 2nd. So be watching for that, and also be watching for Jackie and I will be back, I believe, at some point in August, doing a live tasting of the Birthday Bourbon for 2020. This is the 20th expression also, right, of the Birthday Bourbon?
I believe so. So it started in 2002, but one year there were two of them.
Okay.
So that always screws up our numbers on it. But
I believe it's the 20th from what they told me. No matter what it is, it's going to be great. It's going to be
delicious.
It's going to be so good. So make sure you bookmark bourbonblog.com live /live. That way you can see when Jackie and I will be back with you. And as always, if you have any questions, on bourbon or whiskey, drop me a line at tom@bourbonblog.com. Much like Jackie has been leading a lot of Zoom tastings and all that, I have been too, and I'm always happy to do one for you all viewing. So drop me a line if you're interested in learning more about that. This is just great. I really love your single barrels. You've done a great job. It'll be fun to come down to Louisville and see more that you picked out. I'm sure they'll just continue to evolve, and it'll be fun to taste them.
For sure.
Especially
and
if you're giving them great names. I like the great names you give them.
Do what I can. They will be starting to ship out to markets soon for retailers that have done tastings in the past couple of months. So look out for them everywhere. They're about to just take over shelves.
They'll be all across the country for retailers that had previously months ago picked some out.
Yes.
Excellent. And you helped a number of those pick. You were there helping them pick them out, right?
Sometimes they do it on their own.
That's cool. That is so cool.
All over the place.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun to do those single barrel picks. I love doing those. Jackie, it's so good to see you. Thanks so much for all you do in the world of bourbon and whiskey, and you truly are a master taster, indeed, picking some amazing selections from original label to single barrels. Congratulations, and thanks for all you do for the business, Jackie. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. It's been so much fun to get to talk to you. I'll see you in August.
Yeah, see you in August. We'll have a good tasting together. And thanks to everyone who has been watching. Again, if you caught it midstream, this will be up permanently. So like it, share it. Go get some bottles of Old Forester, of any expression if you're close to Louisville or if they can ship to you. Try these single barrels. They are really something special. Cheers.
Cheers.